Hello, everybody. Thank you for viewing Tammy's Channel Chats. I am Tammy Langowski. I'm an intuitive advisor to your questions. You can get a hold of me for private sessions if you're interested in that. I offer clairaudient and clairvoyant readings. So you can reach me at tammysintuitive.com. I have a contact form there. I also give channeled messages that you'll find on my Tammy's Intuitive Services Facebook and Instagram pages. I also have another YouTube channel with fellow intuitive Julie Hawkins. We're called 2 Psychic Moms, number 2 Psychic Moms. So check us out. So thank you for viewing. I'm here to give you some channeled messages from my guides, anything that might pop up. I do have a question a little bit today that we'll look at. It has to do with COVID. And there was a viewer that had asked this question about what the spiritual meaning kind of is for mankind behind COVID. And, there's probably several of them, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of tune into that question. So I will just take a moment here to make that connection again to my guides and ask that of them. So spiritual meaning for mankind behind the whole COVID thing, guides, and the pandemic of what we've gone through. They tell me there are many, many reasons to go through this kind of experience. That being said, we want you to know that this experience has been a global experience, something that hasn't been seen to this magnitude in quite some time. And certainly, they're telling me how everything now is just, we are so privy to all information across the world, that this was another time to have it shown to you a little differently, giving you opportunity a little differently to be able to see unification in progress right before your eyes. Whereas other pandemics in the past have been word of mouth, so to speak, for the most part, they're saying. This pandemic is worldwide. Your media, they said your social media. It plays a big part in spreading the news and letting everybody know what's going on. So this has been, and they're not saying that's good or bad. They're just saying this is, the word is out there, obviously, for us all to know, number of cases and deaths, sadly, and, so forth and so on. So, and heroic situations as well, they're saying. So this simply has been, we use simply lightly, an experience for all of you to know that you truly, truly are one. It was put in your face. It was given to you in a very harsh manner so that you would understand that and have opportunity, most importantly, to unify and come together. Now, we understand there is the great divide, as there is in all things on the planet, about what some think of this pandemic and where it might have generated from, or how it generated, how it came to be. And then there are those that are seeing this as opportunity to start new ventures, to see things in a new light, to send healing, to be empathetic, to be compassionate, to understand that truly we are no different from one another, i.e., anybody can get sick. And then there's always opportunity to go forward with this as to what happens next. What do we do with this? How has it changed you as an individual? What do you know for sure now? They're using the word jobs. So they're going to jobs and how we know jobs have been changed and people have lost jobs and people now know that they can work from home and that's shifted something, or people understood, you know what, I really didn't like my job. I want to now change my job because they've had time at home. They're giving me all this. This is what they're saying. So you can see how there's just so many, many opportunities for lesson here. And so the spiritual meaning really behind it is individual, isn't it? They just said it's collective and it's individual at the same time. Opportunity again to come together, to unite in love. That's what we would say the most highest of spiritual is for this. How we can perhaps make change together, even though it may not always feel like you're together. There again will be always the great divides on this planet, because this is how we learn and grow here. There's never going to be, as much, they said, as much as one person might feel like they know the right way, there will always be opposition to that. Sometimes it's clear it's the right way. Sometimes it's an individual perception of what the right thing is to do. So we say to you to take yourself individually through this whole situation that has been happening and see how it is affecting you, how you can do better for yourself, maybe what you can do better for mankind, reaching out to others, being more of an attentive listener. We've talked about that before, probably in some channel messages. We talk about, being a good listener and listening to others and being empathetic. This really opened up that. The world of Zoom opened up and people were able to at least connect during, let's say, shelter in place as we knew it, to be able to communicate. There was more of that empathetic listening. And that was a wonderful, they're showing me this energy swirling in it, a wonderful place for human beings to be in, that particular piece of it. As we know, others took the opportunity to transition during this time. Now, there would be many of you that might think it took them, that this pandemic took their life. They backed up like this. They said, we are not going to argue that. We understand your feelings, your emotions, your grief. It is real. It was sad. It is sad that many people had to perish during this time. That in itself is also opportunity for those who are still in their bodies on the planet to learn something from that. Those that on some level, we always say on some level, because of course, none of us would say, yeah, sure, sign me up to pass from COVID. Consciously, no. But do know and do believe they're saying that they also were part of the movement in a bigger picture, in the agreement on some level, not consciously, that this would be their time to transition, to be part of a change, perhaps awareness, a global effect. So you see the passing may not be so much of COVID, but it's in that situation that would have this global effect on other people. That was important to their maybe own spiritual development and they're on their spiritual path. So they're reminding us, of course, when they speak of this, we speak lightly with love for those who have lost loved ones or seen loved ones suffer a great deal through this very nasty, tenacious virus. Do what you can to protect yourself, they are saying. We're taking this opportunity to say that. Do what you can to protect yourself. Science has been developed in your lifetime to help you. Their words. I'm staying out of the way personally about any of this at this moment. So this is what they're saying. So please see that this pandemic has been savage in many ways, and what it has done. Please open your eyes and see that there are ways that you can come together and unify in ways to protect yourselves and your fellow beings. There are many reasons people will rebel against this. They are deep-seated reasons, and ones that are not necessarily, trying to find the word for me, but I know what they mean, what they're saying. There's no simple antidote to that. People have their reasons for fighting a cause, which might really look like a good cause and a good idea, simply because of where they are within themselves. That's their journey. You can send them love and light. We can send everybody love and light. And know though that for, the overstated statement of there is a reason for everything. And there is. This is one piece of your history of you on this planet in this particular lifetime. There have been many before, there will be more in the future. But please know that if we had to sum it up for you as to the spiritual meaning and for mankind, is to find each other, to care, to be empathetic, to do what you can to be there for your fellow brethren and sisters, to be able to feel, to be able to commiserate, to be able to give advice and be that shoulder to lean on. Those are some of the very, very deep, important messages and lessons from this COVID pandemic, this particular one. We will say the other is about change within ourselves. What worked for us before may not be working for us now. And you were given opportunity, permission, if you will, for many of you that were asked to stay home. It puts you in a position to really think deeply about where you're at in your life, not coincidental, and all given with opportunity out of love. We will say again, we send love and light to the families who lost loved ones, or those who are still suffering from effects of this virus, if they were ones that experienced it. And that they're to have the faith, basically they're saying to keep your faith in knowing that you will all choose a way to transition, as we know. We say choice. Some things are, from what I understand, sort of a blueprint, set in stone for some of how we want to transition and have that experience of transitioning. Like we said, I think souls that transition during this time of the pandemic and so forth, really were about a bigger picture than what you're seeing. We tend to see this as just victims of it, when in reality, they know now and are more clear about it in heaven, so to speak, about really what that was about for them. So please have faith in knowing that this was not all for nothing for those people as well, for those loved ones. And we do send them and their families lots of love. So that is what I'm receiving for this question. And thank you very much for this. I think it's a really great question. I think there's many of you that have heard, that will hear this and understand it completely. I mean, we've all done some soul searching during this time. So I hope it's helpful that you got a little bit more clarification on that from our wonderful guides and angels that love to come through and deliver messages. So thank you again. That's the end of this Tammy's channel chat for now. We'll see you next week, and have a wonderful week, and I hope you're enjoying the holiday. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.